Yo, 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 what is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love? My name is Jamal Pope, aka J Phoenix, and this is going to be your astrology forecast for Monday, January 8th of 2024. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. Hopefully you guys had a wonderful weekend. Let's go ahead and hop into the transits for today so we can see how you can be better prepared to navigate these celestial energies. Let's, of course, bring up that January calendar. As you can see, as far as today, yesterday, of course, the moon moves into Sagittarius, but today we do have Mercury, which has its square with Neptune, and that apex is today, while Mars is in sextile to Saturn. Interesting energies. Absolutely interesting energies. We have a pretty full week ahead of us. The moon will enter into Capricorn tomorrow. The sun will square the nodes itself on Wednesday. And then, of course, we're going to see on Thursday that new moon in Capricorn. While Venus is in trine to Chiron and the moon enters into Aqua. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and hop into the actual chart. And then we will continue this thing forward. So as you can see, at the current moment, we do have that moon there at 8 degrees, getting ready to conjunct Venus today. And we do, of course, have the sun here at 17 degrees of Capricorn, coming off of a square to Chiron, but it is getting ready to square the nodes. Now, of course, the major aspect for today is that we're going to see Mercury, which is still moving pretty slow here in Sagittarius, here in Sagittarius, right? 24 degrees to start off the day, right? And it will make the square over to Neptune today. We're going to see that really start to come into its apex. We're going to see Mercury hit that 25th degree around 2:13 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is happening while the moon is on top of Venus. So definitely a very interesting energy right here. Now, this Mercury and Sag has been really shaking things up as far as our perceptions, especially when it comes to our beliefs. A lot of thoughts can be coming in and out right now. It's interesting that this is actually happening while Vesta, the minor asteroid Vesta, is here at 25 degrees of Gemini, making the opposition to Mercury. And so we actually have a bit of a mutable T-square, right? Even though one of the planets is a minor asteroid, they are all happening at 25 degrees today. So that's actually pretty important. Now, this is really going to come down to, well, let's just talk a little bit about Vesta. All right. Vesta, it looks like pretty much like a flame, or that could be a lightning bolt. But I see Vesta as the inner flame, the calm inner flame that never dissipates. It's not a roaring fire like Aries. It's not a intense heat or intense fire like Leo. Vesta is this like it's like a small flame, but that never goes out. And the fact that it's in Gemini, this actually reminds me, I get the image of an individual holding a candle in the middle of a windstorm, and that candle does not get extinguished. And that's kind of the way that I see this energy right now, especially with this being in square to Neptune and opposing Mercury, not retrograde, excuse me, Mercury in shadow in Sagittarius. Remember, Mercury is in detriment here in Sag. Much rather be where Vesta is actually. And it's also squaring a planet that is in a position where it's in its fall. So this Mercury is pretty stressed out. It'd rather be where Vesta is, and it definitely doesn't want to be where Neptune is, but it has to deal with Neptune's perspective from Pisces. And this is a very spiritual T squared. 2 plus 5 is 7, so it's Neptunian, Piscean in nature. We got triple sevens here. 2 5 2 5 2 5. Now, this is, of course, like I said, happening with the moon being on Venus. So can we actually open up and receive a new belief structure, especially when it comes to ourselves? What we believe about ourselves. And what's interesting too is that, a lot of times the way that we view ourselves, a lot of times the way that we view ourselves is based off of the way that other people perceive us. in many ways. So, based off of what other people may say or do or act around us, and based off of certain actions that we may take and whether that is seen favorably in other people's eyes, we may adjust our actions to match that, to match the vibration of those around us. And this can be a positive thing or a negative thing per se. This can be for our benefit or it can be for our detriment. If you start to act out of character and out of your authenticity just to please those around you, and you can see that they are pleased and happy about it, and if you see that as just and if you see that as valuable, then that's the route that you're going to take. But the question is are you really being true to your who you are and true to yourself? That's what this Mercury square Neptune is. This is going to be a day, and this energy has been building up. This energy has been building up, but it is no surprise with the Neptune here in Pisces and with this Mercury retrograde that so many people are backing away from certain professions that they had and going to look at the belief, if you will. You're seeing a lot of people leave the spiritual community. You're seeing a lot of people stop using tarot and they go back to some sort of religion, like they go back to Christianity or Catholicism or whatever it is. And or it's not even just that. You can see people flipping from being Christian to Muslim, from Muslim to Christian. You're seeing a lot of that right now. You're seeing a lot of it right now. But there is a lot of energy within the chart right now, today, too, about belief and about our faith. Like I said, if you look at this numerologically, 2 plus 5 is 7, 2 plus 5 is 7, 2 plus 5 is 7. Let's take a look at the number 3, though. Because, like I said, that's Piscean. Let's take a look at the Jupiter energy, though. 3. 2 plus 1 is 3 with Juno over here in Virgo. 1 plus 2, 1 plus 2, 3. A harmonic of 3 when the moon meets up with Venus. And we have Mars at 3 degrees of Capricorn as well. So when I see a lot of this energy, when I see energy that correlates to Jupiter and Neptune, Pisces and Sagittarius, when I see a lot of this energy, and of course we have Saturn here at 3 degrees of Pisces, albeit it's about to be 4 degrees of Pisces. But we see it at 3 degrees of Pisces around this time as well. This is sort of like a bookmark signature kind of energy when this happens. When Mercury hits this 25th degree and really starts its square to Neptune, and the moon just happens to be on Venus, we are going to be dialed in emotionally to the beliefs that shape our reality and shape our perceptions. And it's going to be a question on whether or not we are ready to receive what it is that is being presented to us. What are the things about this reality that are beneficial for us, that work out for us, that match the vibration of our authenticity, of our OG self? What are the aspects of it that do not match our OG self and the higher vibrations that we're looking to go to? This is going to be one of those. This is going to be a very interesting Monday. We just finished the first full week of 2024. And I felt like we're going to get to this show today. And a lot of people are either going to be waking up and coming out of the anesthesia, or a lot of people are going to be going back to sleep even harder. I think it's interesting how in the first week we get the Cat Williams interview. And now we have all the people that he called out responding. We have the earthquake in Japan. We had the freaking collision of two planes in Japan. We're getting explosions in the Middle East, right? There was like a school shooting right here too. We had a school shooting that happened as well. I can't remember exactly where it was, but I know there was a school shooting that happened, and then we have a freaking alien, 10-foot aliens running around Miami, right? All of this in the first week of 2024, right? So now, whether or not all of these things are true or orchestrated or whatever have you, right? The fact that all this is happening in the first week kind of lets you know what 2024 is going to be about. And it is going to be a year of revelation. It's going to be a year of many people waking up, but also a lot of people choosing to go back to sleep. And the weird thing about it is that now that they are awake and they have insomnia, if you will, and they can't go back to sleep because they've seen too much, they've learned too much, if you will, they're going to be taking really, really high doses of something or some type of sedative, some type of spiritual or esoteric sedative to knock their ass out because they don't want to see the reality anymore. And it's going to require a heavy, heavy spiritual sedative in order for them to do that. Which means that this is going to be a year where they're going to try something different. Try something different to get everyone afraid again, to live in fear again, to fear themselves again, to fear their own power again, to outsource their creative spiritual potential to someone else and try and close doors that are already open within them. And that is probably one of the dangerous parts because it's going to be like a purposeful like damming up of their chakra centers, a damming up of their energetic centers. And the thing is that we can do that all we want. We live in a free will universe here. But that doesn't mean that those messages aren't going to continue to come in. So building up the resistance to this sort of thing. And today is going to be a day that really starts to highlight this with all this energy that's going on, all this 7 energy, all this 3 energy, which is really, like I said, keying in on our beliefs, on our faith, spirituality, our path, our spiritual journey, right? The places that we push into our subconscious, right? The place this is dealing with a collective subconscious too. What have we collectively manifested, if you will? And if you look at the Juno here, which is at 2 + 1, 3, which you can say is a little bit a part of this mutable uh, T square, very minor. It's off by like 4 degrees or so like that. But let's just take that into consideration, right? Juno here is all about commitment. And with it being in Virgo, this is commitment to the day-to-day tasks, the service, the discipline. Oh, no, that doesn't sound fun. Discipline doesn't sound fun. But as one of my good friends and teacher, Master Lin, would say, discipline is the greatest form of self-love. And I think a day like today, which really does exemplify and is going to be sort of like, it's like the first week of 2024 was just the prologue. But the real shift starts today. The real shift starts with this Mercury squaring Neptune and with the moon on top of Venus at the same time. You got to remember, Venus hasn't really been having a lot of great aspects lately. And Venus has been very, very stressed out. Very, very stressed out. Okay. It's in between Saturn and Neptune right now. And honestly, I don't know if Venus is really going to feel that great until she gets maybe to Aquarius, maybe to Pisces, because at least there'll be conjunctions with that. But with the moon on top of Venus, this is kind of nice though, finally. Venus finally gets a little bit of a boost. A little bit. She's not making any other aspects today. Right? I mean, she's about to trine Chiron, at least. Right? So I think the positive to a day like today, where the anesthesia is going to get revved up, like revved way up. People are going to be questioning their reality, questioning their perceptions, asking themselves, is this really good and just? Is this evil? Is this divine? All these things are going to be coming up. And it's going to require you to go within yourself and not trust an external, seemingly authority figure, no matter who it is. You have to go within yourself and ask yourself that question. Ask your higher self that question. because I'm not going to be able to give you the answer. I can only guide you. No one's going to be able to give you the answer. Not me, not your pastor, not freaking people on Fox or CNN, not the weatherman, not it's not even gonna be your parents, not even your dad, your mom, brother, your sister, not your best friend. Like, this is a you thing, this is a you journey, and you're going to have to do the hard work and have the discipline to go within yourself and be upfront and real with yourself. Be like, all right, this is my reality. What about this reality do I find just? What about this reality that I found to be unjust? Am I well adjusted to a shitty reality? Am I well adjusted to reality that lacks self love? It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a sick society. That is today's energy. Are you well adjusted to a sick society? And when you are actually in good health, do people look at your spiritual health as something that is sick? And that's the thing about this, because humans have done that. People will start to dive into themselves, uncover aspects of themselves, love themselves more, and people will look at them as if they're spiritually sick, like they're lepers, like they have boils all over their skin, like they have all these different things, because that person had the courage to go into isolation and to find God within themselves and not trust an external authority figure. But that's the thing about this path. We can all help each other and guide each other and collaborate with each other, but we still have to go within ourselves and do the spiritual work. And no one's going to do that for us. Let's get into the cards. Oof, this deck is damn near new. I barely have used this deck. I think this is like a cosmic tarot or something like that. Yeah, I haven't really used this deck that much. I wonder why that is. But something told me, it was like, just reach into your thing and just pick the deck, and whatever deck is the first one that comes up is the deck that you're going to use today. I'm like, okay. I saw this one, and it's funny because even though I barely used this deck, I knew immediately which deck this was. It came in this little thing right here. I put them in these little bags, and I was like, I knew immediately what deck it was going to be. I'm like, okay, cool. Haven't used that deck in a while. This should be good. We have the Two of Pentacles in reverse. The Two of Pentacles in reverse. Are you willing to just put one step in front of the other? It's funny, yesterday, and I go to this thing called the Sacred Male Experience. And a lot of times when we're talking, I get like these very poetic metaphors and images that come up into my head. And the Two of Pentacles, I've always associated it with this card of putting one step in front of the other. And it is like, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. Now, a lot of times what we'll do, whether we're pursuing something, maybe if we're trying to increase our sense of spirituality, or whether we're going for a goal, or or if we're trying to get like a job or something like that, whatever kind of goal that we have, a lot of times what we'll do is that we will skip steps. And when you skip steps, you end up straining yourself. If you ever try to like actually walk up steps, and if you ever tried to like skip steps, which we all do that when we were children, right? Try to do that as an adult. It's probably not going to go over very well. It's like you're going to pull a muscle, you're going to pull a quad, you're going to pull a ham, and then you're going to have to rest for a bit. And then it's going to even take you slower to get up that staircase. Now, the thing about it is that, especially when it comes to a spiritual standpoint, we never stop growing, we never stop evolving. So there's no true destination per se. That being said, if we decide to skip steps on the way up this staircase and we end up pulling that spiritual esoteric muscle, then it's going to take us longer to get to a certain level, if you will. So this Two of Pentacles in reverse is reminding us to take it slow, to not rush things, and to realize that the journey is the destination, not the destination. The journey is the destination. The destination is not the destination, because that field goal post will keep moving, right? It'll keep moving in life, and sometimes that can cause a bit of frustration because it's sort of like oh my gosh, when will it ever be enough? Will it, like, and you see this too, even from, like, this is Pentacles, so let's just take it from a financial standpoint. The richest people want more and more and more money. They have all the money that they could ever want. They have everything that they could ever want. And they still want more and more record profits and more of this, and their margins have to be better. And it's always more and more and more. It seems like they are never satisfied. And we all exhibit that in some way, shape, or form in life. It seems like we're never satisfied, no matter how much we have, no matter how much we have going for us, no matter how much we have to be grateful for. There's always going to be more, because that goalpost is going to continually move. And I think this is just a part of the human condition, right? We have to learn how to be okay and embrace and love the journey instead of just focused on the destination itself. Because if we are constantly focused on the destination and we try to skip steps, we're going to strain ourselves, right? We also have that followed by the Six of Pentacles. That's actually very beautiful, though. But like I said, this is I'm feeling this is giving to yourself. Not like, if you are in a position to give to others today, that's awesome. Whether it's physically, or maybe you provide that space for someone mentally or emotionally or spiritually, I think that's great. But I really see this as giving onto yourself first. Make sure that you put on your mask before helping the person next to you. That's what they say when you're on a plane, right? And that's just really what this goes down to, because your capacity to give to others is only going to match your capacity to give to yourself. Now imagine that. What if you're like, well, Jay, I give a lot, but I feel like I'm not really as good to myself as I could be? What does that tell you? That means that you could give even more to people than you already are right now. But your capacity to give to others will match the capacity that you are willing to give to yourself. I don't even feel the need to draw the bottom card, bottom of the deck, but a part of me is just curious to know what the bottom is. Two of Swords. Where are you holding yourself back? Where are you in stalemate? Where are you just pondering, wondering, should I not? To be or not to be? Do I go left or do I go right? I think it's time to stop worrying about how we're going to get to the top of the mountain and just start climbing. That is going to do it for your astrology forecast today. I hope that you all enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I definitely appreciate it. Hopefully, this message assists you on your journey today. And yeah, y'all have a wonderful Monday. Y'all take care. Stay blessed. Have a wonderful day. I'll see y'all on the next astrology forecast. Peace.